Go.
So, good morning, smilers. Is everybody smiling this morning, or did we spend too much time on the streets of Birmingham last night? Really glad to have you all back. Today is Event Management Day. We're going to have a bit of a focus on managing events, okay, or campaigns, or look at the picture as we move forward. But we're going to start with the ConnectedCOPS Awards. We have 8 awards to announce this morning, and these awards are their 3rd year. If you look at the back of your program, we're going to go in that order, okay? This is the 3rd, as I said, annual ConnectedCOPS Awards. These are international awards. We have received over the years nominations from 13 countries, I believe. Our sponsors / partners, I want to announce them because they're very important to me. The first one being LexisNexis, because the award winners who come to the ConnectedCOPS Awards receive financial assistance to get here, and that is why only 2 of them didn't make it, and even those 2 tried really, really hard. One couldn't get her passport, and another just was coming from so far away, just couldn't get the permission. So we have 6 of the 8 actual recipients of the awards here today. We're going to hear from every one of them, so we're going to learn from them as well as we have been throughout the conference. So just huge appreciation goes out to LexisNexis because we saw on the awards they just giving financial assistance to travel. The media partners are the Social Media Monthly magazine. If you don't know about the Social Media Monthly magazine, you should take a look at it. It was sort of a maverick when it came out because it's a print magazine about social media. A lot of people thought this guy was crazy. He's a friend of mine. He's not crazy, but he's pretty cool actually and very innovative. And it's just you can Google it and find it and check it out. It's a good magazine. And he's always looking for writers as well. I write for law enforcement, but it doesn't have to just be me. You could probably accept an article from anybody with a good idea. So check that out. PoliceOne.com is an American online news resource about police. Outstanding, one of the major online resources in North America for law enforcement. PCW is a PR communications company that supports me and has since the very first conference. Law Officer Magazine is online and print. They're American as well, also huge in the U.S. And they are a partner on these awards. And then, of course, new this year's Police Oracle, and we're just so thrilled to have a UK-based magazine supporting the awards, and Cliff as well from Police Oracles here. So thank you, Cliff, for coming. Yeah, we're just so thrilled. And it's because each one of these organizations then gives me a person that judges the awards. So next year, if you're nominated, you might offer them chocolates from Belgium, Pascal, or whatever. No, I'm kidding. So what I do is I take the 8 awards, divvy them up, and each of the judges like to give them or something like that. And then our international partner is Police Future is international. It's based in the U.S., but they have members from all over the world, and they're just sort of a think tank, always looking to the future. The Association of Chief Police Officers, of course, are UK-based, and with the awards for all 3 years. The first 2 years, the representative Gordon Scobie, who was Assistant Chief in Scotland at the time. No, the first year, because Chief Ian Hopkins joined us last year, right, Ian? And this year. So Ian has judged for 2 years. I'm confused because Gordon also came back last year. We just had him represent Crime Stoppers of Scotland, so he can make him a judge. But he's not a judge this year. So thank you, Chief, for supporting the awards for the last 2 years and judging them for us. And then Crime Stoppers USA and the International Association of Crime Stoppers have also been with me. International Association of Crime Stoppers for the last 2 years, Crime Stoppers USA for all 3 years. And Michael Gordon Gibson, the one and only, is representing the International Association. Thank you for being here, Michael. I'm drink later, he's hilarious. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to present 2 of the awards. Each of these gentlemen are going to present 2 of the awards, and then we'll hear from the winners. Okay? So we're going to start with Excellence at a Large Agency, and to present the award for Excellence at a Large Agency is Mr. Michael Gordon Gibson.
Thank you, Laurie. I don't know, I don't think you've read this one before it was MGG. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you. Laurie just said, can you get up, tell somebody who judge MGG? I said, there's no need because they're all smiling anyway, so I'll assume that particular issue. As Laurie mentioned, I have the privilege of being connected ConnectedCOPS for 3-4 years now. Well, since the start, and it has been a privilege to be able to look through all the nominations for these awards and come to a decision. And I know it's trite, and people often say it is not easy, and there are so many good applications. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact, and it was, and I'm sure my fellow judges will agree, very particularly challenging this year. However, we have come to a decision, as they say, and for the Award of Excellence at a Large Agency, and just a bit of background, this award is given to a law enforcement agency anywhere in the world of 151 sworn officers or more that has demonstrated overall excellence in the use of social media to enhance its services to the public. The agency exhibits leadership, creativity, strategic planning and innovation in its use of social media to engage, educate, recruit, etc. The agency has a broad and deep understanding of social media use and applies sound governance strategy in social media operations. The agency also promotes the use of social networking in law enforcement through its outreach to colleagues and by mentoring others. So, the 3 nominations in no particular order for excellence at a large agency are the Dutch National Police, Greater Manchester Police, and Massachusetts State Police in the United States of America. And I'm delighted to announce that the winner is our very own Greater Manchester Police, particularly the corporate communications team. And just to give you some highlights of what they've been up to in the last year or so, the result of getting this award was that during the past 4 years, the corporate communications branch has changed dramatically. It has cut a third in the budget and staffing levels. This has created challenging circumstances for the team who have had to extensively adapt and change the ways they work. And some of the ways they've changed is that the team have embraced social media and developed the use of Greater Manchester Police. Developed the use for Greater Manchester Police. This has included training more than 350 officers and staff to use social media for their neighbourhoods, as well as maximising opportunities it brings to engage and communicate. Some examples of the work the team include the Greater Manchester Police smartphone app, and actually purely by chance. I didn't realise I was going to be doing this particular award this morning. I actually downloaded your app yesterday and onto my iPhone, and very good it is too. Very. So I encourage anyone that's had an interest in that, to download it from your various Play Store or iPhone. It's free and it's very good. The aim for that was to increase access to police and policing services, particularly the visibility of appeals, people missing from home, information and wanted appeals, and they also wanted to encourage members of the public to submit information to the police that could assist in policing on incidents. Another particular example was Operation Advent in 2013. In December last year, the team launched Operation Advent, the annual Christmas crime prevention campaign, which included a video Advent calendar with messages provided by pupils from St. Edmund's Primary School. There has been positive feedback, including one tweet that said, "Quite funny, considering it's the plot." The campaign of None for the Road. None for the Road was launched in Media City in November last year. Car wreckage from the fatal drink-drive collision stood on display, and the family of the drink driver tragically lost his life, were available for interview alongside spokespeople from emergency services. That particular campaign resulted in a reduction of arrests for more than 50 cases in national, corporate and local media. And the final quote from a freelance journalist said, "The Greater Manchester Police Communications Department are jacks of all trades. When it comes to getting a message across, they are also masters of it." And it gives me great pleasure to invite up to the podium Chief Inspector Umar Khan from Greater Manchester Police Service.
Smile. Great photo.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Great. Many thanks to the Smile Conference and the panel for giving this award to Greater Manchester Police. Obviously, Amanda Coleman, who would have been the worthy recipient of this award, couldn't make it herself due to an operational commitment, so it's this great honour and privilege to myself. So I'm pleased to be here, and you know, it's lovely to be at a conference where you don't get told off for using your phone, so that's fantastic. I think the award, the word excellence is attributed to it, and I just want to talk a little bit about the word excellence. What does it mean for Greater Manchester Police? Yesterday, we heard our boss talk about the strategic side of things, and Amanda talked about our journey from being nowhere to being excellent employees of social media. I, for one, being a neighbourhood inspector at that time, was curious about social media to start off with. My neighbourhood team were the worst performing one, with about 150 followers after 6 weeks of adding Facebook. So I was embarrassed into action, really. So I signed up, and Amanda gave me the training, told me how to use Facebook and Twitter and everything else. And along the journey, I was really genuinely surprised at the value of social media, and I'm just going to share one quick story. We had a burglary where this family, we were all in that family, they had the car stolen, the TV stolen, the food was also stolen, a little puppy belonging to the 7-year-old girl. The family gave us some photographs and said, "Oh, can you help? We're not bothered about the car, we're not bothered about anything, our daughter is distraught." So that Thursday afternoon, we took some photographs of that up on our Facebook page, said, "Look, Skittles, what it was called, was a little shih tzu, so how mispronounce it." So we put it on our Facebook page and thinking, you know what, at least we seem to be reasonably about it. But within hours, people really captured that campaign and started sharing and started commenting and started asking their friends and colleagues if they could assist. And going into the evening, it was now snowballing. First we had about 30,000 reads, then 40,000, then 50,000. Then into Friday, it was really about 50,000, 60, 70. 4 o'clock I finished work, so I said, you know what, I keep telling you, we might see something like this, so we might see something like this over there. By Friday night, we had 250,000 people following this campaign, egging it along, talking about it. And then 1 o'clock on Saturday morning, the baddies dropped the puppy off at Tesco's in Whitworth, left a message for us saying, "The puppy is at Whitworth Tesco's." And next, on the Saturday morning, we were able to return the puppy to the 7-year-old girl, and we talked about all the investment, money that's going to platforms and everything. That happiness felt by that young girl was priceless, and that's the value of social media to have at communities on ground level. So thank you very much for this award. Thank you.
Outstanding. I don't know if any of you are aware of the work of the Dutch National Police, but if you're not. They're phenomenal. They've been leaders for years, and so there's definitely somebody to watch. Totally would have been recipients as well. The Massachusetts State Police, I'm so proud that they're actually a client of mine. Everything they're doing has nothing to do with me yet. Okay, next time this year, I think we're going to make history there because it's a state police department. And when we talk about decentralizing communications, like we've heard Greater Manchester has 300 and some people tweeting for them, and West Midlands has many tweeting for them. You know, the Toronto Police are over 300 now. We started working with them in 2010, and now, as you heard from the deputy, chief yesterday, they're really taking it 24/7 and all of that. It's just fantastic. Well, that's what we're doing at the Massachusetts State Police as well. And the leadership there is so fantastic. The colonel he's just full speed ahead, and all of the leadership. Never have I had a client where I go in and usually, half of them will say, yes, it's a good idea, let's do it. But the other half are going, yeah, we think the leader, chief's off his rocker, but it's what the chief wants, so let's do it, right? At the Massachusetts State Police, like the lieutenant colonels, these are, these gentlemen have gray hair, they're fake, they're no spring chickens. Love this idea. The more the merrier. That's what they're telling me. I just fell off my chair. I haven't had one person, and we've done dozens of interviews now with leadership, and right down to the commanders of the divisional level, not one has said, we don't like this idea. Let's do this. And so we're gonna make some history, Massachusetts State Police. If you ever have an opportunity to hear Colonel Tonalvin speak on this topic, take the opportunity. So anyway, moving along, we're going to go to our second award, Excellence at a Small Agency, and our presenter is judge is Cliff Caswell from Police Oracle.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you very much for having Police Oracle as a judge and as a presenter today. It's a really great privilege to be here. PoliceOracle.com is a website primarily for UK law enforcement, and we've been very busy over the last few years with everything that's been happening in policing, from changes in structure to the significant budget cuts that we've all had and we've all been grappling with. But it is it's enormously gratifying for me to be at an event of such an international flavour. I have to make an admission, actually, before I move on. When I joined Police Oracle 5 years ago, I was something of a social media Luddite. I really had grappled with the use of Twitter, but thankfully over the years I've been dragged into the 21st century, and I have to say I've learned an awful lot from the way that law enforcement has deployed social media and used it to enormous effect. And I think one of the big stories that I always keep in my mind is the way the ongoing learning and how we're using social media tactically in policing, I think has been an amazing process to watch. So as Laurie says, this award is an award of excellence at a small agency, which I won't repeat the criteria actually, because it's actually judged on the same as the last award, except that it's for an agency of 150 sworn officers or fewer. So, to move on to the finalists: Clovis, California Police, United States; Eau Claire, Wisconsin Police, United States; and Mount Pleasant, South Carolina Police, United States. We have an all stateside lineup for this award. I'm delighted to announce that the winner is Eau Claire, Wisconsin Police. Well, I mean, I thought this was extraordinary, an extraordinary citation in many ways, and it shows, I think, how you can use social media very much as a force multiplier when you're in a small organisation. In this case, with Eau Claire, they put the social media interaction into the hands of one person, and it's been paying absolute dividends, both in terms of solving crimes and indeed showing the human face of policing, which I think is something that social media has enormous potential with. Some of the highlights, the citation talks about the hashtag help ECPD to solve cases through the posting of images, not only of crimes committed in the city but also in the county and surrounding communities. And other agencies have been helping, have been engaging with this process to help the department to enormous success. But what I think is enormously interesting is the use of YouTube that the department has deployed, particularly with posting videos. One particular case of actually showing officers close 6 lanes of highway to actually save a family of ducks, which shows very much humanity and has had 2 million views in less than a week of it being posted. And indeed, People magazine posted the video on the web with the caption, "Maybe the New York Police Department should take some social media cues from the UCPD. That social media cue is simply use social media to humanise and bring a face to the department, something that ECPD does every day." So, accepting the award on behalf of Eau Claire, it's a great pleasure to meet him earlier, Officer Carl Roder, Community Relations Officer of the department.
Doesn't he look awesome in his uniform?
You are a real cop. Yeah, I gotta get it on here. Hang on. Smile. That's a brilliant idea. I'll do a selfie. It's a reward.
For my phone at the table. All right, we probably, if you were here yesterday, don't want to talk any longer, but and you award, so probably another time I'll get something cool like this. You know, I have to thank our nominator, Chris, who nominated us, and she's our partner with our Department of Transportation, our communications manager. She wrote this up and submitted it for us. You know, I thank our chief, Jerry Stanishevsky, and the staff of the police department. They're very supportive of what we do. Part of it is they let me do kind of what I want, which works well for me. And you know, if they're watching it, keep it that way. We're going to do good things. Just remember that as a police leader. No. So, anyways, thank you. We try to do things. We try to humanize it. As I talked about yesterday, we try to be real and engage the community. And I think by doing that, we build the relationships that we need to solve the crimes that goes hand in hand. So, thank you.
That award goes to the agency that always won the award. Outstanding work, Kyle, and I hope they're watching at home, and I really hope your chief appreciates it. So I'm going to announce the next award, and that is Social Media Investigator. The Social Media Investigator Award is given to a law enforcement investigator at any worldwide law enforcement agency who, as a practitioner, has used social media successfully to solve crime. The social media investigator practices appropriate security measures and supervision in his or her investigations. And that's really key because there's a whole lack of supervision and process and all of that, I think, still in social media investigations. The finalists for that award are Detective Inspector, I believe this is title on site, and on Marco Force from the Helsinki Police. Is that right? That's the Detective Inspector? Detective Sergeant. I always forget that, but Marco Force from the Helsinki Police in Finland. He's a smiler. He's been at this conference at least once, maybe twice. Pascal referred to him yesterday when he talked about the two bald guys and then he did some photos. He's one of them, and so he's awesome, does great work. Instructor Hank Vanderlinden from the Dutch National Police, he's been around forever and does excellent work. And Detective Janet Zale from the Oregon Police in Ohio, in the U.S. Okay? And so the winner of this award is Detective Janet Zale. He's from this little town, Oregon, in Ohio. And Janet is the one that I referred to earlier, who just didn't have a passport together. She's just sick about the fact that she's not here. However, we have a video to play.
Good morning or good afternoon, whatever the case may be. I'm Detective Janet Zale from the Oregon Police Department in Oregon, Ohio. First of all, let me express how disappointed I am that I couldn't be with you today. What an honor it would have been to be in the same room with all the leaders in the field. And an honor it is to be chosen to receive the Social Media Investigator Award. When I was notified that I was one of the finalists for this award, I was like, cool. Then I checked out all the other finalists in this category and thought, there's no way I'm going to win this award. There are so many deserving and qualified finalists. Then Lori sent me an email informing me that I had been selected. Wow. I am humbled. Humble. Most people that know me don't usually connect the words humble and stand. I love what I do, and I love what I do with confidence. But when you're recognized amongst your peers, you never quite have the confidence you thought you had. I believe there are so many people who do a better job than me, and I still have so much to learn. So much to learn from all of you there. Only 4 years ago, myself and former Sergeant, retired Detective Sergeant Tim Zale, brought forward the idea of creating a Facebook and Twitter account for Facebook. We were met with skepticism and negativity. They were going off the idea that social media was full of drama and the idea that we were putting ourselves out there, I think was uncomfortable for them. But we were the spooky deal, and we said, okay. Almost immediately, we began telling her that things that we've never been investigated. You know, the surveillance video that you did that was a beautiful picture of someone committing a crime that we don't know who it is. We posted those to our pages and began receiving tips. The local media outlets saw this and started reposting. More tips came in and more crimes were solved. The community was impressed too. We created a line of communication and humanized the department. We posted crime prevention tips, community notifications, traffic advisories, and positive humor to remind the community that we are people and have to do. We became sort of a role model for other departments in the area. Officers would contact me asking how I could keep agree with it. The chief would call and ask what the community reaction was and how much time they should be given to someone to keep up monitoring the activity. The media wanted to do stories on our department showing that we were keeping current with technology. And I can say, next to opening the doors of communication with the community, the positive relationship that we have built with the media was something that didn't exist before. So, with all this new activity, of course, in itself, helped me in my understanding and build on my knowledge of social media. In doing so, I've been able to solve or help others solve many different crimes, such as homicides, robberies, numerous thefts and burglaries, prostitution, child pornography, and slotting crimes. We all know the surprising amount of personal information people put on their public social media pages. And all it takes is a little time and a lot of patience to find what we're looking for. And in mentioning personal information people put on social media pages, it led me to start having conversations with the community about internet safety, specifically with the students. I started going to the local schools after another officer told me about the problem they were having with students in sexting. After a while, other schools heard and invited me. That was great. I eventually got together with the victim advocate from the local county court and a professor of psychiatry from the local university to begin traveling in the local area, offering to speak to whichever school would have us. Our information we deliver to the students talks about what happens in the digital world, how it affects emotionally the victims of texting and cyberbullying, and what the law can do and does about it. We will talk to whomever will listen, and you never say no, no matter how big we are. I still feel I have a long way to go in educating my department as well as other local departments in the benefits of communication and problem solving utilizing social media. I looked at so many of your department's social media accounts in my degree, and I am envious on how active you are, specifically departments in Canada and the United Kingdom. I know that when the department embraces the concept of social media, the job of the investigator is more easily understood. By being chosen for this award, I hope to show the administrators, the community, and the area that social media isn't bad. There are different platforms that come and go, but social media isn't going away. We have to embrace the idea and utilize it. Policing has changed in the 23 years I've been an officer, and nothing is wrong with change. Law enforcement community has always been frightened of change. That's why it seems like we're always one step behind. Yes, policing has changed, but the ultimate goal is still the same: protecting the innocent and catching bad guys. Social media is just another tool to accomplish this goal. So, thank you again. Thank you, ConnectedCOPS. Thank you, LexisNexis. Thank you, Smile. Thank you to my department for giving into this freaking deal and allowing me to do this. Thank you to all the officers in the department who realize the value of social media. You are an inspiration to me, really, from the bottom of my heart. You know when you hear it, oh, it's just an honor to be recognized, and you think, yeah, right, you really wanted to win. Really, I mean it. It is an honor just to be recognized and to be given this award in the presence of people who I believe are the leaders in this field who need the world. So thank you.
Awesome. A common elephant too. I believe when she says it's an honor to be recognized because I think, unfortunately, there's too little recognition of the great work that officers like her and Kyle and all of you in this room do, right? And I think one of the key things she says here is that when the department embraces social media, it makes the job of the investigator. Because to me, it's one of my soapbox pieces, right? And I talked to Craig about this a lot too. And I'm just an observer. I'm not a cop, they're not a cop. No, my dad wasn't a cop, my brother wasn't a cop. I didn't have a cop. Anyhow, okay, I'm a Canadian, that's bad enough.
Wait a second.
But it's about the, as an observer, I could always see that there was what I call the front of the house and the back of the house investigations, and that community engagement side were very separated, and still are, in my opinion, too separated, right? And with social media happening especially, it's just all the more important that the two sides work closer together, and there's not, that wall in between them anymore. It just can't happen. It's so much more effective when they work together. It's not separated. So anyway, somebody told me Janet probably got up early this morning. I think she's probably watching. So Janet, we have a lovely crystal trophy here, and I'm going to take it home, and it'll be safe, and I will ship it to you to a copy. So excellent work, Janet. Thank you for the lovely video. So what we want to do next is announce the award for Best Social Media Campaign. And to do that, we are going to ask Chief.
Morning, folks. We're all okay? Still smiling? Happy? Got lots of energy? I'm absolutely delighted to present this award because it links back to some of the things I was saying yesterday about the service, learning about police services in the world, creating their own voice through social media, actually trying to get some of our campaigns and some of our issues out into mainstream media is really, really challenging for us because they only want to report bad news. So when we've got informative, educational, preventative messages to try and get over, it's a real challenge for our corporate communication departments to engage mainstream media. We don't need to anymore. in our own voice, and that's what this award is about. And so the social media campaign management will go to the law enforcement agency, which has met its stated goals with a documented social media campaign. The campaign is designed to address a significant problem or educational issue within the agency's jurisdiction. The nomination should include a description of how the success was measured, and I'll highlight for you. And so the finalists were our very own UK Police Force North Yorkshire, Seattle from the United States of America, and the Victoria Police from Melbourne in Australia. And the winner is Victoria Police in Melbourne, who very sadly can't be here today, but I understand Roy wants me to go and deliver their prize personally, so I've got no problem with that.
LexisNexis is paying for it.
I'm Mark Daly, the Manager of Online Communications here at Victoria Police in Melbourne, Australia. It's a great honour to win this award, the Best Social Media Campaign for ConnectedCOPS, something we're really proud of. We're really happy with what we're doing in the social media space in Melbourne and Victoria in general, but we're busy here solving crime one hashtag at a time, so unfortunately I can't join you in person at the conference. But the focus of this award for us was Road to Zero. It starts with you. And we invited the general public to give us ideas about how you can reduce road trauma. They gave us some great feedback, and hence we won this award. I hope you enjoyed the conference. All the best to the other candidates for the particular categories. Would love to have been there, as I said, but we're very happy, very proud, and great, feeling great about accepting the award. If you're in Australia, make sure you come and see us. Bye for now.
Hang on. Hang on.
Sorry, some of the highlights from Victoria Police's campaign Road to Zero. You've just heard Mark talk about how they engaged citizens to actually come up with ideas themselves that would enable the campaign, which was great, tapping into innovation, community assets, things that the service perhaps wouldn't happen themselves. So the central theme of the campaign is to educate the community of dangers surrounding road trauma and to identify steps to prevent further fatalities and trauma on the roads. They managed through their innovation with the communities a total of 28 posts on Victoria Police Facebook page, which generated lifetime post total of 2.3 million, 4,727,000 impressions, which is just phenomenal in terms of the reach that day. And some of the largest success was actually in engaging the Australian Football League, who transmitted the messages at the Melbourne Cricket Ground to 67,000 people. As a result of this, they were able to engage in the mainstream media, which was fantastic. So Channel 9 and 10 Evening News programme put out their messages and what they were doing to 1.2 million Australian viewers. So we have very small things starting in the community. They were able to reach an audience of that magnitude, which is just fantastic. So really deserving award for Mark and his team. That's what we do.
Hang on. Yeah, I need one. That's what I'm told.
Oh. Alrighty. It's my turn. There it is. Okay, so I am going to now present the award for event management. Okay, so that's our two awards where we don't have anybody present. All of the rest we have somebody here. Okay, here we are. Social media event management. As you can see, there was only one finalist. And it isn't because, and that's not why they won, because, you know, you're the only ones. There were other nominations, a couple, but they didn't come close. And so we just announced that, when we announced finals, we just said we have one. And we didn't say who the winner was. Until today, we put on here that it was just by far the Royal Canadian Mounted Police from New Brunswick. And so before you guys come up, let me just set the stage a little bit, because I'm astounded too, as wherever I travel here, the U.S., and I said, did you hear about that incident where the 3 mothers were shot? And they're like, no, when did that happen? Like, just a couple months ago, right? And a lot of people didn't hear about this. And you know, I was following very closely. Alex was at the SMILE conference in Tampa a week before. So I'm watching, knowing it's Alex. It was one of the guys doing this great work, so it was very cool. So let me just read this a little bit to you. So on June 4th of 2014, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Moncton, New Brunswick, responded to a call for a person with a gun in a neighborhood. Upon arrival, the gunman shot and killed 3 police officers and wounded 2 others. Immediately, the RCMP started monitoring social media for suspect information, as well as using Twitter and Facebook to communicate with the public about safety concerns for the area. A 2-day manhunt occurred with the suspect surrendering peacefully. The immediate action taken by the RCMP team on social media assisted with the manhunt of the suspect. This is that whole front house and the back house working together. It's brilliant. The suspect need management and community safety in an extremely effective, accurate, and timely manner. The actions of the RCMP social media team's additional media and investigative team were quite simply heroic. After the incident was over, the RCMP turned to a nationally televised funeral for the 3 officers, all the while using social media for communications in an admirable and tasteful manner. So here to accept the award for event management, social media event management, are both civilians, Alex Vass and Paul Green.
What? I know it should. Yeah, let me get the speaker.
So we haven't heard from these gentlemen yet, so they're going to do a bit of a presentation of, I don't know what you're going to talk, but I mean, you're going to tell us about your, so we want to do this up.
Yeah. That's fine. We're actually going to be presenting this afternoon for an hour at 1 o'clock, so we won't get into too many of the details right now. But it is just, I mean, blown away when Lori informed us about this, because it is such an honor to be recognized by your peers. Scott Mills with the Toronto Police Service, he's actually the one who nominated us. And Toronto's about 1,400 kilometers from us, so it gives you an idea. He's seen what was going on, he recognized what was happening, and to honor us this way really means a lot. It was such a tragic event for us. We're a very small province, 750,000. This was a small community of 130,000. And these were 3 of our colleagues who were killed, and 2 others injured. And we kind of had to put that aside for the public safety aspect of this. So we'll go into more details this afternoon, but just again, thank you to everybody. And Alex and I are here, but we're not the only members of that team. I have a team of 6 great people, and they're probably not all watching right now because it's 5:30 in the morning. But I know they're very honored for this too. So again, we'll talk about it more this afternoon, and really looking forward to presenting to you. Thank you.
I have to tell you, too, these award winners when I totally won and by the way to show up. That was like 3 weeks ago. So, I'm not here, it's just amazing. All right, at this point, we're going to welcome Cliff Claswell from Police Oracle again to present the award for the Civilian Award of Excellence.
Thank you, Laurie. The Civilian Award of Excellence, so the criteria, this award is given to the individual civilian member or employee of a law enforcement agency who has singularly demonstrated overall excellence in the use of social media to improve public safety and or enhance his or her agency's community engagement and reputation. This individual is creative and innovative and shares what he or she knows by mentoring others, participating in public speaking opportunities, and leading by example. So the finalists for the Civilian Award of Excellence: John Turner, Royal Canadian Mounted Police;
LexisNexis.
Louis Zuniga, also of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police; Michelle Montgomery, Prince William County Police, Virginia, United States; and Tom Sterling of North Yorkshire Police, United Kingdom. And the winner, it would be a great pleasure to announce, is our own Tom Sterling of North Yorkshire Police. A few highlights of this one. This was another extraordinary example. I don't know whether those of you from overseas will be aware about the cuts that we've had over the last 5 years in policing in England and Wales particularly. But it's been an occasion really where social media has risen to assist with community engagement, and as I mentioned with the previous award recipient from the USA Act as a force multiplier. Tom is the digital media officer for North Yorkshire Police and has taken it very personally to embark on a campaign of great proportions with the force. The force is actually a very large one in England. It covers an enormous area actually, and particularly its size and rural nature make it quite a unique policing challenge. Tom's actually taken to social media to look at a number of initiatives. The first one was called Lunchtime Live. This was in May actually of this year. The force launched a campaign of web chats, lunchtime live web chats, enabling a sort of question and answer forum. Tom planned and implemented this from the outset and has used social media accounts of officers and members of civilian staff to effectively create a critical mass to promote the events out into communities. And the results have far exceeded the force's expectations. There's been 4 web chats to date covering the towns of Richmond, Skipton, Rydale, and one area I know very well from my previous life as a reporter with the Armed Forces Catterick Garrison. The feedback internally and externally has been very, very good, and more web chats are planned in the future. Second initiative, Ask North Yorkshire Police, a web app offering crime prevention advice, legal frequently asked questions, neighbourhood crime information, and an awful lot more besides. This was something Tom built and designed and built from scratch at no cost to the force, something that's obviously very important with the budgets being the way that they are. There have been well over 1,100 unique searches since this app was launched in January 2014. Also, another very useful application has been the North Yorkshire Police at Uni, which is a mobile app specifically aimed at students coming to York's universities. Again, designed no cost to force, features including step-by-step safety guides, checklists, links to YouTube videos, and other very useful applications. The citation says, clearly the use of social media in law enforcement is high profile and of great interest to a wide range of people. Tom has presented the force's use of digital media to groups ranging from a high-level delegation of military officers and diplomats from around the world to the Royal College of Defence Studies, to students on an IT degree course. In addition, Tom has regularly appeared on BBC local radio to discuss the use of social media in high-profile investigations and incidents. Tom is also a part-time volunteer special constable and to put some of the techniques and technology to use to great effect in his day job. Congratulations, Tom.
This award is not the best PowerPoint presentation, so please bear with me. Well, while this is loading, first I'd like to congratulate Jean, Louis, Michelle, Dion, who are also finalists in this category. To be honest, when I saw the shortlist, I thought, I really don't stand a chance. Every single one of those deserves this award as much as I do. And it's really a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to that presentation this afternoon. Secondly, I should mention North Yorkshire Police. We're a small force in terms of numbers, but not in terms of area. But we do have a limited budget, as mentioned. So it's fantastic we made a shortlist in 2 different categories. And it's important to say this award isn't just about me, it reflects the hard work that we're dedicated to. And thirdly, thanks to West Midlands Police and Laurie Stevens in particular for hosting such a fantastic conference. This room is a real who's who of these social media. It's an honour to be here. I won't spend too long up here because obviously there's so much to look forward to on today. First though, I thought, well, I've been asked to run through one of our campaigns here. This is NYP at Uni. Incidentally, we named NYP at Uni back when putting at in the title of Uni was really cool. We're slightly regretting it now. It really hashtags, it doesn't work on Twitter, it thinks it's something else. So, regretting the name. Nevertheless, NYP at Uni is a student safety campaign. Every year, tens of thousands of students arrive in North Yorkshire, many living away from home for the first time. And sadly, this campaign. So this is our target audience. I think technical term is hard to reach. Students not wishing to stereotype generally don't read local newspapers. They're generally limited to surgeries, and if we gave them a leaflet, like a lot of these leaflets, it would probably end up in the bin. But students do all have mobile phones, and actually forget smartphones, probably smartwatches now as well. So for this campaign, we took all our existing personal safety advice and created a mobile web app. Something like this. The framework we used to build it is free and open source, and all the crime prevention advice in it was taken from existing leaflets, websites, with student publications. So we're able to turn the whole project around very quickly and to send us at no cost at all to the force, which is particularly important. In terms of publicising the weather. This year we've agreed with York University to give one of these cards to all 4,000 freshers when they arrive. And obviously our officers will be at freshers' fairs and all the residents to hand them out to. Incidentally, if you have coffee at Starbucks, you might recognise the design and layout of these cards. It's an idea that we borrowed from them. I hope they don't mind too much, but it's proved really effective. Of course, we'll also be promoting the app on social media, in particular our Facebook page, where about 30% of our followers are in their 20s, which is our exact So we launched the campaign in September last year. That was without the cards. We had more than 600 downloads, and people spent more than 2.5 minutes on average using the app. So that's fantastic, and we're hoping to do better results. So that's a really brief overview of the student safety campaign. It's just one example of the kind of campaigns that we run. And as the citation mentioned, they have to be quick and low cost, but still grab people's attention, so we try to make them innovative and creative. And those are the sorts of campaigns that we're having to run simply because we don't have the resources to do it. But we think that they're quite effective and executed. So I hope you found that interesting. I won't take up any more of your time. Just to say once again, thank you for this fantastic tool.
I've been watching Tom's work for a number of years, and I can tell you, again, one person, there's always one person, but he's done a lot, but North Berkshire doing some of that, social media now, which has no boundaries, by the way. As I said, social media has no boundaries. We are going to welcome, again, Chief Ian Hopkins to present the social media leadership award.
Okay. This is a really important award because it's about leadership in social media. It's particularly for leaders up to and including the rank of sergeant or their equivalent across the world. So we all know many leaders in the field of social media, but I think why this is really important is because it's about leaders who are focused to the front line, those that can be innovative and influence citizens' needs far more effectively than people at the top of an organisation. So not only do they have to come up with innovative ideas, be consistent, drive their aims, but they've also got to overcome bosses like me and persuade us that it's the right thing to do and take us with them. So I think it's a really important award in terms of that leadership. So the award is given to an individual officer up to including the rank of sergeant who have demonstrated exemplary and selfless leadership in the use of social media to improve public safety or enhance their agency's community engagement and reputation. The individual is creative, innovative, and fearless, and shares what they know by mentoring others and participating in the activities to champion social media in the public. In terms of the 3 nominations, there are Officer Chris Rasmussen from Redwood City Police in California. This is testing my geography today. So I think it's been quite a geography lesson over a few days. The second nominee is Officer Eric Kohlberg from the University of New Hampshire Police, New Hampshire, USA. And the final one is Police Constable Jason Peter from Police Scotland, here in the United Kingdom. And the winner is Chris Rasmussen from Redwood City Police in California. A few of the highlights of Chris's work. Chris began using social media in early 2011 through the Redwood City Police Department. He brought together a volunteer team made up of police employees from diverse backgrounds. Small officers, dispatchers, civilian members of staff, Spanish speakers.
all with the aim of driving out information to the residents of Lakewood. We set up some of the basics around social media, including Twitter and Facebook feeds, but then went on to implement Pinterest, Vimeo, and really interestingly as well, the implementation of a Spanish language Facebook site. And finally, managed to persuade the organisation to use the Twitter logo to create that newsroom. Not content with all of that, Chris went on to set up the Bay Area Law Enforcement Social Media Group, which was aimed at bringing together other government groups to create best practice. And this group now has over 50 agency members from 5 counties in the Bay Area that meet quarterly. So a great achievement in bringing all those people together. Chris has used his creativeness, his innovation in a fearless way, actually as well sort of mimicking some of the famous people in Hollywood. Ellen's infamous selfie, and was something that he mimicked and posted a picture to Twitter with the phrase, "Let's see how many retweets public safety can get to help us treat Hollywood's best." And they managed to get 700 retweets and 200 favourites, and the reach from Twitter and Facebook was over 30,000. So really good. I think the one thing that really struck me with this though is the work that Chris has then put into mentoring others and leading others and sharing what he's learned, his positive experiences and not so positive experiences. And I think that's a sign of a great leader who takes time to give back and help develop others. So Chris, a really fantastic achievement, and many congratulations.
Chris?
Can you join us? You know the record.
One more moment, Chris.
Hang on. Oh. Sorry, can we have you? Sorry, sir. Can I have you back again just for us? Joanna. Come on. That's a lot.
Well, we need one of you both together there.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Come and join us.
Camera down there and come and join us.
All right. You can travel well, that's fine.
Great, thank you.
Give me just a minute. Say hello while I do it.
Hello.
I don't dance well.
I'm not even going to tell you what he was asking.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate this. This is definitely, like everybody else said, an honor just to be nominated and to be up here with in a group of you all. It's truly an honor to be here. I'd like to thank my nominee, the person that nominated me, Chief Dave Westbrook from Hollister Police Department, who's crucial in developing some of our things, and our Chief Priya Gamas Feline, obviously didn't be there today. So, sorry, we only had a couple, the Wi-Fi connection is spotty here, and I had meant to email that on my presentation, but let me just talk about some things that we do. You mentioned the Ellen pic. We took a selfie of ourselves, kind of mimicking that picture from Ellen. You guys all familiar with that picture, right? Ellen's picture. Well, we kind of did it, and I sent out a tweet saying, how maybe if that could get so much publicity, why can't ask law enforcement to get that much tweets? And so I put that out, and we get overwhelmingly do well. We got a lot of media coverage from that, most media coverage, stuff there, and we do well. Not as good as the 1.2 billion, whatever, but for a small agency, we did really well on that. And it was, good. The important thing about that, I think, is that we all experience the volume from other officers, and I'm sure you guys all get it. What do you do all day? No, but you don't understand. So I know a lot of you are conflicted with getting people to buy in to this, to social media, to what you guys do and what we do. And so one of the interesting things that I noticed when we did this is I had to rally a bunch of people. Hey, let's take a picture. No, come on, let's take a picture. So we did this selfie. I got about 8, 9 people. We did this picture, and it was amazing. All through the day, I was on a traffic collision, taking measurements, and my fellow officer came out and was in the picture and says, "Oh my gosh, my cousin just called me and said he saw my picture on the news." And this person over here said, "Oh, I look at this. Look at how well this is doing. I can't believe it." So the volume was great. All those people that are in that picture are now in social media because they understand that people from all over the place found this picture and they were like, "Wow, this is the volume that we got." So, getting people to buy in is hard, and those are some of the tricks that, at least that worked for me. Getting people just a simple picture to come in, and now they understand that from all the publicity they've got, they bought into, the realization that social media works and how far it goes. Another interesting story, Pinterest, you guys use Pinterest, we use Pinterest for law enforcement. We use it to, it's a really great story. We use it to put identifiable property. If we recover stolen property, we put it up on the Pinterest site in hopes that someone will recognize it and come forward and claim it. Because we have millions of rooms of property that goes unclaimed everywhere. So we use Pinterest for that reason. Excuse me. And we found this, there was a traffic stop, an officer stopped the person and he was able to find out that a lot of the property was unaccounted for and couldn't identify him. So he took a bunch of jewelry, a lot of stolen jewelry out of this person's car. So after they did all their, the detectives did all their investigative leads to find out, who this stuff belonged to, they came across this unique charm bracelet. And it had little heads of children with their names and date of births on the back of the charm bracelet. So it was really unique. So we put that up on Pinterest, and within 8 hours, we had 3 tips that led us to the identification of the owner of this charm bracelet. That's pretty good in itself, but what's really interesting about this story is that the owner, who had moved to San Jose, just south of Redwood City, that bracelet was taken in a 1983 burglary of the house. And so over 30 years later, we were able to bring this charm bracelet back to the owner. So that's kind of the power of this, what we do, and where we can go with this. That's a pretty unique story. The other thing that we talked about our social media group, the BA, it's BALESNG, and I'll post it on Twitter for you guys. When we first started this, someone referenced yesterday that we were all pioneers in this field, and yes, I was specifically. I had no idea what Twitter was when my lieutenant said that we were going to do this. And so we got together. We had no idea where to go. Google search, law enforcement, social media, there's nothing to be found. So doing some research, I found out a close partner of ours across the bay, Fremont Police Department, they were doing a job. So we decided to take a trip over there and see what they were doing. So we talked with them, we sat down, had a great talk, what you guys do, best practices. And we kind of thought at that meeting, this shouldn't be kept a secret. This shouldn't just be connected. We should get out there and tell this to everybody. So we put together a group. So we're 58 now all across the Bay Area. and we meet quarterly, and we just come together just as well doing today and just talk. Talk about what's going on, what's the best practices, what's working, what's not working. We like to share a lot of mistakes because that's where we stumble and we share our mistakes, so it's people know what to avoid, and they come to become mistakes themselves. So we've been blessed. We live in Silicon Valley. We're a stone's throw away from Facebook and Google, Apple. We're all right there. Yahoo is right in our backyard. So we're able to connect and to collaborate with these industries and work with them as well. We've had our meetings at all those sites, Yahoo, Facebook, Google. We just travel to those places and we connect with those people there at those places. And when we went to Facebook, they gave us a great class on how they work as far as the legal process and how to get into Facebook and read records from Facebook and how we can interact with that and what's the quickest way to do that. So we've been very fortunate about that. As a result of that, there's been other agencies that have gone to doing these groups. The San Gabriel Valley social media group, which is centered in Southern California. Tom Levesque and Mike Farm have set that up down there. So they've also mimicked and replicated our group in the Southern California area. And Virginia now has a law enforcement social media group. Dion Law set that up in Virginia. So people are extremely used to have a group of people, agencies that you guys can get together and have a successful group such as we're doing now. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you again. It's an honor I'm here. So if you have any questions or want to know anything about that, I'd be happy to share how we do it. Thank you.
First question I'm going to ask you is, well, who's our contact at Facebook? Okay. Okay. So you mentioned the social media groups. There are two others that I know of as well. The Midwest, I know Kansas has one, and New England, Northern New England, NESMO is the hashtag. If you want to watch NESMO, New England social media officer or something like that. So no, it's Northeast social media officers. So I fully expect one in northern Wisconsin here pretty soon. And I don't know, are they here? Do you get together with your peers in sort of a formal way or informal way and have groups like that in this part of the world? Anybody want to tell us about one? All right, well, better get on that. It's all about the sharing, right? And I think that one theme, and certainly the criteria of every award, is sharing the knowledge you have and growing this phenomenon and best practices. All right, we're down to the last award, and it is the Top Cop Award, and the person to present that, we're going back to MGG.
Thank you, Lauren. Last one, ladies and gentlemen, the one you've all been waiting for, the International ConnectedCOPS Top Cop Award. It's the minute I finish speaking, it's in for a cup of tea, and it's outside to enjoy. And late emerge a quintessential late summer day. So take advantage of it. It doesn't come around that often. Before I go into the meat of this, just a correction, Laurie, if I may, and by no means criticism. I was head of the International Crime Stopping. In May last year, I moved on. I crossed the river from the private sector, and I joined a private firm in the technology sector. Now, those that know me well are still realizing, are still reeling from informer to detective dinosaur taking a step into the technology sector. But I'm director of policing for a company called FaceWatch, the UK law enforcement, using the internet to get the public to engage with the police, particularly businesses, particularly retailers, to try to do something to address the high volume, pernicious crime of a physical theft. And we have a good footprint on it as well. But it is again, within social media, is using the crowdsourcing, using the great, tremendous knowledge that our great public, I feel that we all have, our citizens have, the ability to be able help law enforcement. And that segues into what I was doing previously, which was international crime stopping. I had the privilege of leading an international crime stopping organisation for several years. Before that, I was a detective in our capital city. And it was there, but it wasn't actually there, it was in Johannesburg in 2007, an international conference sponsored by Interpol, that I came across who really is, in my mind, a top cop in social media. He's a very dear friend to me and to Warren. He should have been here this morning, this week with us. Unfortunately, he has not been well. His name is Constable Scott Mills, and I'm sure many of you have heard of Scott. And he's a driving force behind using and promoting social media enforcement. Now, what's on? It's after 5:30 in the morning. Constable Mills, I hope you are awake, whether you are still at home. I'm sorry to hear that you haven't been well, Scott. You are greatly missed. We all send our very best wishes to you and a speedy recovery back to the front line. Do that work you do so well in promoting social media. Wish you were here. You're missed. So from your other dad, get out of bed, son, and get on with it. Moving on. Scott actually wrote this citation, and the citation of the Top Cop Award is that this award is given to law enforcement executive of the rank of lieutenant, or its international equivalent and above, of any worldwide law enforcement agency who has demonstrated significant and sustained executive leadership to further the use of social media, brackets open source in law enforcement. This individual is a risk taker. This individual is a pioneer in his or her promotion and use of social media in policing. The recipient of the Top Cop Award also gives his or her thought leadership and expertise freely to others. Last year, it was a great privilege to be able to nominate Deputy Chief of Toronto Police Service, Peter Slowly, who was recently one of our police officers unavoidably detained in Toronto. The year before that, it was our homegrown Gordon Stoley. Is Gordon still serving? The police stop. So, two very illustrious recipients. And the third goes amongst the finalists in nominations of the very own host, Chief Inspector Kevin Blakeman, Las Vegas Police, congratulations Kevin. Inspector Michael Brown, also our host, Las Vegas Police, and Chief David Western from Hollister, California. Chief, I understand that probably just after 2:30 in the morning for you, Chris, will you be awake? Really? No. Well, when you do watch this on the playback, congratulations upon your nominations. And the winner is Kerry. Don't understand that, it's not you. Inspector Brown, will you fix it, please? Join me at the podium. I want you next to me as I'm embarrassing. Just the highlights of what Michael has been up to. Michael has been nominated for this award, but he has continued to have a significant impact in social media on the policing and mental health worlds because of the efforts, which are largely in his own time. He has arguably extended his impact on the ground. It is valued and reached much further than many people realise. One highly reputable professor of criminology said, if I had to choose simply the best thing on Twitter, it would be hashtag mental health. Since last year, his social media efforts have been mentioned in the United Kingdom Parliament. In fact, a very recent star of British TV appeared at the conference last week, and congratulations on that very much. It was a profound experience, not a welcome one, I would imagine, but it was, you conducted yourself extremely well. Congratulations. He has also now gained an international reputation in policing and mental health since being a finalist of this award in 2013 last year. He is invited to speak in Cape Town, an international conference, as well as various international events being held in the United Kingdom this year. He has now clearly become the most followed United Kingdom police officer on Twitter. What will you say? Significantly. Extending his reach via social media to over 20,000 individuals and organisations, and is clearly continuing to support vulnerable people, police officers, and others to understand this area of work. Michael, congratulations, top, 24 years, well done.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Wow. I got into Twitter for personal reasons. I actually set up a personal account 3 years ago, and mainly so I could watch other people on Twitter and learn from them. It struck me, having been involved in mental health issues in West Midlands Police, I had 3 years of my career had been spent working full-time on mental health issues. I hadn't done anything near social media. I briefly used to share an office with Gordon Scobie when he was chief superintendent of this force, and at the time he was getting massively into social media in the West Midlands, and obviously he led on Twitter around the first winner of the it was kind of partly from listening to him that I actually thought, I wonder what I could learn from it. So I just set up a personal account and started following others that I was interested in. And you realise on there that you can meet psychiatrists, service users, most importantly of all, you can meet social workers, mental health nurses, and plenty of others. Then you realise you can police officers working in other companies who dabbled in policing mental health and so on. So I got into it really so I could learn from others. I didn't So it was kind of a personal journey. After I'd been in it for a couple of months, I think, and I was just starting to see content that I found interesting. And a defence solicitor of all people actually said, well, you really want to share all that you've got and 140 characters, so what you said quite wrong. I think apart from following Inspector Gadget with apart from that, I didn't really do what I wanted. And I wondered what I would say, but as it's built goes, the reaction that I've had on social media has just been absolutely overwhelming. And I've learned probably more than I've ever told anyone else, and that's still the main reason I'm into it. And various people on Twitter have really fashioned my understanding of what it's like to live in a society when you have a serious mental illness in terms of the discrimination that you face, the stigma that you face, the difficulties that exist in trying to do things like apply for a job, when the mere fact that you once had contact with the police service in mental health crisis means that that might get disclosed to your prospective employer, who might then discriminate because they can on your application for the job. So it's for all those reasons that I want to chip away. And then what you find is really convenient that you know the emergency services, the amount of contact and emails I've had, including this morning, from police officers talking about their own lived experience of suffering mental health problems, often in direct consequence to the trauma they've experienced by policing the kind of events that police services have to attend, car crashes, child death, suicide attempts, and so on and so on. It just shows that this stuff is a very unspoken about part of what we do, the impact on ourselves of having the police society's most difficult, dangerous some traumatic events. I get to speak this afternoon for 45 minutes, so I'm going to say nothing more. Thank you very much for anyone who reads anything I'm putting out there. Who's helping me learn as much as I've had to help them, and want to see what's there. I couldn't be more proud and show thank you for that. To you. Really good work. Thank you.
You know, obviously, as I said, I invited some of the winners after we determined them to come and present the conference, but not always, because Michael and Amanda representing Greater Manchester were probably the first two people that we put on the agenda long before the nominations came in. So their work is very well known. So, golly, we're just about right on time. How about that? So what we're going to do now is, well, first of all, I just have to say again one more time, could we have a round of applause for LexisNexis and it would be awesome if the recipients. It would be awesome if the recipients in the room would even just tweet to LexisNexis. Their Twitter handle is LexisNexis LE, law enforcement, and just say, you know, wish you were here and you know, whatever you'd like to say to them. That'd be awesome. Anybody else in the room, they'll probably respond and tweet back into the conference. So thank you, LexisNexis. Again, you've been sponsors since the beginning. Thank you to our 10 partners. You know, Social Media Monthly, Police One, Public Communications Worldwide, Law Officer Police, Oracle. So proud to have you. Police Futurists, Association of Chief Police Officers, Crime Stoppers USA, the International Association of Crime Stoppers, and of course, especially the 3 of them who are here and presenting these awards. This has just been fantastic, so thank you very much. Nominations for the 4th annual awards will begin around May of next year, and then we'll be presenting them in the fall of whatever that conference is, looking like Canada right now. So again, I just want to say congratulations to the recipients and thank you for being here, thank you all for coming, and to all the finalists and everything, and thank you judges. And what we'd like to do now is break, and we'll come back at 10 after.